I've written a poem, and this poem was based on a day last year in the summer when Pam and I looked out the window towards our field of sheep, and the sheep were going absolutely balmy. They were having sheep races. Two of them actually jumped over the water trough. They then all stopped and started headbutting each other. Complete madness. They then started jumping up and down, though they were on bed springs. And I said to Pam, "You've got to go and get your phone. We've got to film this." And she went off 30 seconds later, came back. They'd all stopped. So instead of footage of film of the sheep, I've written a poem about them. And here it is. At the back of our house, there's a field of grass, and a while ago it came to pass that sheep were allowed to graze and roam, calling this land their very own home. I love to look at this wonderful view. If the sheep aren't hiding, you'll count 42. And this glorious display is ours for free. It's a daily dose of sheep TV. Now, it's rare for sheep to be balmy as brass, but once in a while, they eat crazy grass. And it changes their delicate, fluffy white features. They turn into very daft, silly old creatures. Now, this went and happened just last week. We were watching our field, just taking a peek, when all of a sudden they started to run. They genuinely do this just for fun. But this was mental. They weren't being rational. It's okay for horses at the Grand National, but sheep jumping? Now that is a look. Next thing, a pile up at Beecher's Brook, sheep in the air, but just for a beat, landing quite well on very safe feet. Then they just stop. One started pooing. Had they forgotten what they were doing, the race they were having and trying to win? Sheep get amnesia, it's quick to kick in. But another event was never in doubt. I suppose I would call it the head-butting bout. Two would square up, heads made of leather, run at each other and smash them together. The rest then latch on and split into pairs. Some didn't bother, just pulled up their chairs. Bob and Shirley, they were both sitting. Bob sat quiet. Shirley was knitting. She pilfered the wool in a way that was bold. Where had it come from? Bob got quite cold. Back to the action and things got frisky. Roger the ram had been on the whiskey. This, of course, spelt nothing but trouble. After a while, he always sees double. So in his mind's eye, and for his sins, Roger the ram saw nothing but twins. Two lovely ladies. It made Roger smile. He leapt in the air and missed by a mile. Now, sheep events like this are quite rare. To be caught by humans is a nightmare. Any sheep caught is a sheep that is toast, which is why they have a lookout post. This particular day, it was a major factor. The lookout had spotted the farmer's tractor, but Roger the ram couldn't care less. He was far too drunk to clear up the mess, and the others were also slow to catch on when down from his tractor stepped Farmer John, his hands on his hips, surveying the view, a bottle of whiskey and deck chairs too. There were telltale signs, one wobbly ram, the remains of a picnic with scones and jam. But what really put the sheep in the dock was the one that was dragging a big knitted sock.